What up, what up, what up, what up? It is your favorite Monday night sports talk show, and that is Dr. We E Talk Sports right here on Facebook Live. I think we're also on YouTube Live as well. So we're getting it all in. And we give you the news and the information that can make you smarter at the water cooler. It's been a few weeks. We have been moving around. Of course, it's holiday season, so we had to, we were all doing our thing. I saw Dr. Weed doing her, ski teaching, ski instruction thing going on, and then we were went to the Falcons and beating the Rams, even though we need another coach. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. We're going to talk all about all of that tonight, plus the playoffs, both the NFL and college football playoffs. Is the SEC done? I mean, with no Alabama, no Georgia, we got Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
SEC has got Ole Miss as its representative, and the Big Ten still has 2 or 3 teams left. Oregon,
well, just 2. That's the ACC,
Indiana, and then
Indiana and Oregon.
Yeah, so we got a lot that we're going to talk about tonight. So just sit back, relax, and again, get out your pen and your pad, bring your questions, drop your comments in the comments, and we will give you a shout out and answer your questions. So with that being said, Dr. Wade, what's going on?
Nothing. Living the dream.
Here's my first question. Are you mad that your Eagles decided to rest the starters and then they gave up the fact that they could be the second seed?
I'm not mad that they rested the starters. I think they could have won that game if it would have been actually called and act like they wanted to win the game, like a couple, like 4th and 1, and they didn't go for it. They kept running the same plays. So I think we could have won if they actually would have acted like they wanted to win. So I'm not mad about the rest, but I think they could have beat Washington if they would actually prepared. I don't know what the offensive coordinator. I'm not a big fan of offensive coordinator anyway, but I don't think they were prepared for the second and third string to play. They didn't actually do enough preparation to win.
To a certain extent, I agree. I think that, and they were playing at the same time. So I think, Nick may have made a different decision if he had known that Chicago had lost. But he made that decision probably earlier in the week when they're setting their game plan. Because I don't know who your backup quarterback is. Was it Tyler or whatever his name is?
Why can't I think of his name? Why can't I think
Taylor
of
something? Taylor something or other.
Not even Taylor. Hold on 1 second. I'm seeing it.
It's one of the real white names.
I'm looking at his face. I'm looking at his face right now.
Gunner, Hunter, something like that. But either way, he was probably getting all the reps during the week, and so you can't make a decision day of to also put your starters back in.
No, because people said that. He wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, so he had already made that decision, and it was what's going to happen. And so, and I don't think there's. I mean, the only difference between the second and third.
Tanner McKee. That's it. Tanner McKee.
Tanner. I know some real white. I'm Tanner, Hunter, Gunner, one of them.
He's played well before. So he's actually a decent backup.
Yeah. And he played decently Sunday, but Josh Johnson is a more seasoned backup. And for the Commanders, I called them. I'm sorry, I apologize I think I called them the Redskins before, but for the Commanders, that was their playoff game. Right, that was we're going to end this season on a high note, this bad season on a high note by beating Philadelphia, in division rival, and all of that. So, congrats to the Commanders for going to Cancun on a high note. but it's over. That's over with. That experiment is over with. And so I was just curious about that. The other thing is that the Chargers did the same thing. They rested their starters.
I think they need it. I see the pros and the cons. I see the pro from resting because we rested last year. Where Saquon could have basically got the record.
He could have broken the record.
Yeah, but he decided to rest. I think that's a Eagles thing, not just a Sirianni thing.
And I think Sirianni says, okay, resting my starters, my best players in the final game of the season, won them the Super Bowl last year, right? And so he's trying to.
Yeah, and we got a lot of people out. Like Lane is supposed to be back, although I think they should have played at least a series though. But anyway.
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20. And seeing the results of the Bears losing to the Lions, but again, the only time the second seed comes into play is if the first seed loses.
True.
Because if Seattle doesn't lose, the second seed is going to Seattle, right? So that doesn't help you. But if Seattle trips up,
but they could technically, but anybody could.
Anybody could. Like this without your typical top quarterbacks in the playoffs. And what I mean by that is like that's the Mahomes,
Lamar,
Joe Burrow. Without your typical top quarterbacks in the
AFC, all of the AFC,
right? Because Bo Nix,
yeah, Bo Nix, Patriots,
right? You got a second year in Patriots. Trevor Lawrence, who's had a great season, but he's got one playoff win?
And it's been a while.
Yeah. And so do you trust these quarterbacks in the AFC to I don't trust them.
I don't either. But who knows who's gonna make it out?
But we'll see.
I hope makes it out, even though I kind of want the Bills just because they were my preseason pick, I do believe. But if the Steelers won, that's a real lovely story. If.
Speaking of Steelers, what did you think about that game? I watched it. It was
amazing though. And I can't believe the field goal kicker. Oh no, he's gonna hate himself forever. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. You can't get that back.
And then like boom. I was like, I can't believe
you can't get that back. And that's the thing, and that's why I was like, because my wife always teases me because I say I hate kickers, right? And so when the kicker for the Steelers missed that extra point, and I was like, oh, they're gonna lose this game
because of the kicker
because he missed the extra point, and and then Lamar gets in the field goal range, and full story is, so I went to watch my Falcons beat the Saints to get their coach a nice party gift.
And the CEO
fired. So I watched that, came home, rested, and then one of my sports bar friends, is a big Ravens fan. So I texted him. I said, "Where are you watching the game?" So we went to the sports bar. So it's a few Ravens fans and a bunch of Steelers fans in there. So they kept asking me, "Who are you pulling for?" I'm like, "I'm neutral." Like I had my Falcons sweatshirt on. I was like, "We won today. I'm already good. I'm playing with house money right now, so I'm good." So, but we watched the game and watched that emotional roller coaster at the end of them going back and forth, touchdown here, touchdown. Nobody could take a lead. Then he misses the extra point. Oh, the Ravens could win it. They get down. They get in the 4th and 7 catch to get him in field goal range. They take the lead. They're about to win. And here's the thing I said, and all of the Steeler fans were melancholy and they were mad and they were cussing Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers. And I turned and I said, he still has to make that kick. And I don't trust kickers. And then he missed the kick. It was pandemonium. Napkins were flying up. I think I saw some beer flying. Somebody knocked a chair over. It was crazy in there. It was wild. And I was like, and that's why I hate kickers.
But the kicker won the game. Well, for the Steelers. I lost the game for the Ravens.
He won the game for the Steelers. You're right. He did. So he did win the game. But I was like, because contrast that pressure, you can't account for it. So like the Steelers kicker had made 90 extra points.
Yeah, he's clutch. He's usually clutch. They've won games off of his kicks.
But he knew that pressure of, hey, if we can hold on, we can go to and he missed it. And then you, on the other side, you got a kicker, and I think that kid was a rookie.
Yeah,
he's a rookie.
Even though he's been clutch too, but
yes, but not
that pressure.
There's a difference in regular season clutch and lose the division, go home and make your travel plans clutch. And he wasn't that clutch.
No, he wasn't.
So,
but I don't know why I had a feeling he was gonna miss it. I don't even know why.
Because that's what they do. So I think what's interesting is that dynamic, and everybody was like, "That was a great game." It was a fantastic way to end the season.
Oh my God! Yeah, because some of them games yesterday were meaningless. But
yeah. But I was, kickers. So I think you've got the Bills, and I'm sure you got the Eagles going to the Super Bowl.
I got the Eagles, even though I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm a realist. I want us to go to the Super Bowl and win, but I don't know how offense is going to make it through the playoffs. I worry about our offensive coordinator and Nick sometimes, him too. I think our defense is capable of it, but I'm worried about our offense. Not the players.
Your defense is more than capable.
But not the players, but the actual coaching of the offense.
Your defense is more than capable. Your defense is fantastic. And when they play to their full potential, they are in the same conversation as the Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. Let's just call it. Those are the three best defenses, and the Broncos. I'll give the Broncos a good defense.
Broncos, yes.
So those are the four best defenses in these playoffs. The Chargers defense is good. It's not in that class of those top four. Those are the top four. And the Jaguars have a good defense as well. They do. But I still put those four that we just talked about in a class just above the Jaguars and the Chargers. I think what helps the Jaguars is they've got a better offense than Houston and Denver.
Yeah.
And even Philly, for that matter. So
I don't think it's the players. I think it's the coaching, because we have weapons they've not used.
Oh no! Y'all got better weapons than Jacksonville. It's the coaching and the play calling that hurts the Eagles. That is not the players. Y'all got two great receivers, a great tight end, a great quarterback, a great running back. The offensive line has fallen off a little bit this year. Wasn't as good as it was last year.
And some different people, yeah.
But you've got one of the top four defenses in the league, and so your team has the players and the pieces to go back to back. Will they execute? Will they call the right plays against the right team? And that's what everybody's concerned about.
Yeah, me too. I just have a feeling that they're going to do something stupid. I think we'll beat the 49ers, but I think the matchup's good. Because their offense is good, but our defense is good. And their defense is not good. And our offense is sometimes questionable. So the matchup may work in our favor. We'll see.
Well, you see what happens to the 49ers when they play a good defense. They got smothered. Okay. Like some hash browns at Waffle House. Okay. So, I mean, Seattle put foot in them.
They really did. That game was, I was surprised. I was surprised.
It wasn't even close. I watched it from start to finish because I was like, at some point, San Francisco's got to figure something out. And what I saw is the secret sauce is they tackle well. So even when San Francisco would throw a screen and get somebody
much yard, yeah,
they will close that down and get him on the ground. They weren't missing tackles. And that's the thing. That's what makes a good defense great. The Texans do the same thing, and they get great pressure on quarterbacks.
They do. When the Bills played the Texans?
Yes. And Denver is more in line with the Seahawks. They don't get a whole – they're the number one sack leader. They're the top sack team because they tackle on first and second down. So they put you in third and long situations where they know they got to pass it, then they go get you. So those teams are dangerous just because of defense. I don't trust the Texans offense.
I don't trust Bo Nix.
CJ runs hot and cold. I don't trust Bo Nix.
Not in no.
And that's why even though they're the number one seed, they had a great regular season, I don't trust them. They had what did they finish last year? They had a third place schedule.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
That they played. So and when you look at the quarterbacks that they were up against, they didn't play the top tier quarterbacks other than Patrick Mahomes with a bad team around him. So I don't trust Bo Nix. I don't. Who else is in the playoffs?
Bo Nix, the Chargers. I trust him, but his line and his hand is still broken. So, Patriots.
But the Patriots. Here's the thing about that matchup, right? The Chargers and the Patriots. The Patriots don't get a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. That's not their thing.
No.
Like their defense is not one of the better ones. And there's about matchups. And the Chargers don't give up big plays. And the Patriots have feasted on big plays. And they've also feasted on being on a fourth place schedule. So when they start doing matchups,
playoffs is a whole nother story. Yeah.
Playoffs is a different story. What you don't do well gets exposed. And you've got to be able to make a weakness not a weakness. You may not be able to make it a strength, but you can't let it be still be a weakness, which is why I have no faith in the Bears. Because that defense is atrocious. And if the offense doesn't...
CJ got hurt. I don't know if he's actually playing. I don't know what his injury was. CJ Gardner-Johnson.
CJ Stroud?
CJ Gardner-Johnson, defense.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And they walked him off that field gingerly. So I don't know if he's going to be able to turn around in a week. He'll probably try to give it a go, but I don't trust him to be able. And that could throw off a lot of the defense.
Yeah.
So Nico Collins, the two-headed monster in the backfield, and CJ Stroud is going to have to play, smart football to give their defensive players some rest.
Sure.
Because you can't just rely on that defense. But I think that Drake May being in the playoffs for the first time, I think he's going to get exposed a little bit. He's ahead of schedule anyway.
Well, yeah, but way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I think Drake might get exposed. So, but
So who are your picks? NFC, AFC.
Okay, I'm going to do a homer pick on the AFC side and my Jaguars. I think right now going into the playoffs, they're playing the best in the AFC. I can't think of any team in the AFC that's playing better football than the Jaguars right now. Now, what I don't trust is a first-time head coach. What I don't trust is Trevor Lawrence. You get in these bigger games, and the only team that I think that can give them fits is like Buffalo, because Buffalo's been there before.
Yeah, but then they played them first too.
They played them first. So if they get past Buffalo, who's left? Right? I think it would be a close game against the Texans.
Texans Steelers. Who you got out of that matchup?
I don't think they would beat New England straight up. I think they would blow doors on the Steelers. I think they've already shown that they can beat Denver. So I think, and they'd have to go back to Denver and do it again. That's a tough task to beat a team twice in their home.
And Denver is always just difficult just because of
that's a tough task. But, out of the rest of the field between Pittsburgh and New England and Houston, and Denver.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the hot hand. So Jaguars on the AFC side. On the NFC side, if you had asked me this 3 weeks ago, I would have said the Rams. But I watched my Falcons put foots in them. I've watched. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games. They looked good yesterday, but that was a bad team, so they should have looked good yesterday. Just like the Jaguars looked good yesterday, but they're playing Tennessee. You should put 41 points up on some bums. Like that. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm not going to be checking a pom-pom for Los Angeles because they beat a bad football team. So right now in the NFC, I'll say Seattle. They're playing the best ball right now, and that defense is formidable. Problem with them,
Sam.
Head coach, first time head coach.
Sam.
He's not first year, he's second year. But first time that he's in this position, Sam Darnold.
But if they actually went and won, what the beef for Sam and the Vikings getting rid of him and the JJ and they didn't even make a playoffs anyway.
I think it was a big deal for him to win that game against San Francisco. And even though he didn't have to do much, the score could have been even more lopsided because they gave up points because they went for it on 4th down deep in San Francisco territory on their first drive. So the game could have even been more lopsided. So I think, and that gave them confidence that hey, we can smother a good team that, because remember the 2 previous games, San Francisco scored 5 offensive touchdowns. In both those 2 previous games. They put foots in those 2 teams, and then they come out and get smothered. That was impressive. That was an impressive one. And I saw Kyle Shanahan, which I enjoyed every minute of it, him not being able to do nothing. Oh, sucker. But because Carolina's not going to do anything on the NFC side. Eagles are a wild card because if they show up in full force, they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
The Bears, you said not because their defense.
The Bears' defense is not good enough.
Even though they got a good running game, but you need the defense to win the playoff.
And Caleb is not consistent enough.
He's not. He shows up late in games.
Yeah, like he didn't show up until the 4th quarter yesterday, and almost put out a victory. But in the playoffs, that's how you get sent home.
You can't behind like that. Yeah, you can't get home.
No. Especially against better players, better defenses, better coaches. So
you don't give Green Bay. They injured.
Too many injuries. They haven't won since Micah got hurt. Yeah. And they I think they won yesterday, didn't they? But it was against.
But they didn't play their starters.
Yes.
They played their starters.
So I can't count that as a victory. So I used to believe in Green Bay, but when the injuries started mounting up, I was like, I don't know, and I don't trust Jordan Love yet. I like him, I don't love him, and so they're coming in, they're limping into the playoffs. The Bears are unproven commodity. You got Carolina the Falcons had to win to get them in.
I know that was interesting. That whole thing.
I should have gone.
It was interesting, even with the last game with Tampa and the Panthers.
Yeah, those 2 games, Tampa and Carolina and Atlanta and New Orleans, those games were hard to watch because it's 2 bad teams playing each other. And it's like, is somebody going to win this game? Can somebody take control of this game?
NFC South.
The Falcons scored a touchdown off of a block punt, and then because it gave us a short field, so we get it. Like it was, New Orleans was beating us, and I was sitting next to I was sitting in front of a New Orleans fan. He was trying to talk, and I was like, look, I'm a realistic Falcons fan. I'm not a delusional Falcons fan. I said, y'all should be winning this game. And they put the game statistics up on the board during the game. And I said, y'all are leading in every statistical category in this game. The only reason why you're losing is because we blocked that punt and our defense has been making enough plays.
Yes.
They missed a field goal. It was like, I'm like, and he couldn't say anything.
I'll give the game away.
And then we got that late interception with Alford, and that's what held it on for us. But I'm like, so yeah. So Carolina's not going to do anything. Who else is in the playoffs? There's a lot of really good. So San Francisco, Rams, Seahawks. So 3 from one division. Then you got Carolina that's going to go beat
us,
y'all,
Bears,
and the Bears.
Oh, we already said Bears.
And Green Bay. So you got 2 from one division, 3 from one. That's 5 teams coming from 2 divisions, and then you got. So yeah, I would say based on today, and this is I could be wrong, but I'm saying based on what I've seen,
and
Seahawks and Jaguars.
So who would win out of those 2?
Which nobody would watch.
I would watch it just because it's football, but we're a little different than most casual. And people are gonna go to the Super Bowl party. They might not watch the game. They're gonna go.
It's about the.
They're gonna go socialize.
What they're gonna have a problem with, because it's in Santa Clara and that's an expensive area of the country.
Yes, it is.
They're gonna have a hard time filling the seat. Now it's corporate. It's a lot of corporate and the parties and everything. So people go for all of that stuff. But the fans of those teams are not going to be in the stands, because I know I'm from Jacksonville, small market team, not a lot of big dollar people from Jacksonville that pull for that team. So you're not going to see a lot of people there. And then if the Seahawks, it's a shorter drive for them. So they'll probably have more fans because they've had a history. They've won a Super Bowl before. So they're going to have more fans in that stadium. And there are a lot of randos that are just there because to say that they're at Super Bowl and they get the special ticket.
Yeah, it's people with money, people with some.
Yeah. The money flexers are always going to be at the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, and it'll get its ratings. But I think it'll be
goes to Super Bowl every year. He's a Texans fan.
It'll be one of the lower rated Super Bowls in a long time.
Yeah, it's not that much. The stadium's far out too. There's not that much stuff around.
It won't nearly be like last year because you had
New Orleans,
team going for a 3
don't need a reason to go to New Orleans.
And a rematch with the team that they lost to. They beat. The storyline wrote itself last year. This year, if it's Jacksonville and Seahawks, you're gonna have to find storylines. The Trevor Lawrence thing is really
Trevor
good.
Lawrence, but people are already talking about Trevor Lawrence, comparing him to Josh Allen. Who would ever thought you put them in the same sentence? The stuff I heard today.
Yeah, it's been blasphemy.
Coach
but
of the year and no.
And I mean, think about how like Liam Cohen, the head coach of the Jaguars, started his initial press conference. He couldn't even say Duval right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Duval. I'm like, what are you doing? Did you have a brain cramp?
Yeah, he didn't.
That's the dude, and now he's one of the best coaches, high young coaches in the NFL, right? And you see, and my man, I have to give my man Colin credit for this. And so y'all write this down if you're watching. This is great. This is one of the best things he's ever said. You can tell how good a coach he is, not by what you see from his team on the field that he's coaching, but what happens to the team he left. He left Tampa Bay, and Baker Mayfield fell off a cliff. That team couldn't get it together. They lost like four of their last 5 games. They could not get it together offensively. And that's when Liam Cohen left that. He's no longer. We left that team. They fell off a cliff. So those are the things. So that shows me that Liam Cohen was the guy that was leading that team in Tampa Bay. He was a secret sauce for them. And so that's why I'm giving Jacksonville credit. He is put together, and he got a little nasty streak. When I saw him trying to talk trash to Robert Saleh when they played.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, bro, you're a little too light in the tail to be trying to talk trash to that man. That man might eat you. Look.
Oh yeah, Saleh's a big dude.
But it gained him a lot of respect from his team and from the fan base, small as it is. We got Jaguars have a European fan base because they play in Europe twice a year, every year.
They do every year.
And they've got a small European fan base, and we got a small fan base in Northeast Florida. But I like the little feisty team, and they're playing well. And
They are.
Trevor Lawrence is the best he's looked since he's been in the NFL.
So you got to get a coach some credit.
Give coach a lot of that credit. But did you see the stat that they put up about the quarterbacks that were drafted with Trevor Lawrence in that draft? And everybody was talking about how good they were. Mm. He's the only one that's still with his original team. Mm. Trey Lance was in that draft. Justin Fields was in that draft. What's the guy that went to the Jets that got drafted?
Was it Sean with them? No, he was after.
Oh, Wilson. Wilson.
Russell?
No. The white kid from Utah. Oh. From BYU. That they talked about was so good he got drafted to the Jets, number 2 overall. His last name was Wilson.
But, Zach. Is it Zach?
Zach Wilson. Yeah, Zach Wilson. So all of them. And the crazy thing was everybody except for him has been on 3 teams, not just on the second team. They're on their 3rd team.
That's true, because Justin's 3rd. And he's basically done.
Zach Wilson's on his 3rd because he's down in Miami now. Trey Lance is on his 3rd because he's with the Chargers.
They did. The Cowboys did get him.
Yeah, so they're all on their 3rd team, and Trevor Lawrence. So, that draft wasn't as good as people were claiming it was. Let's see here. I don't think this one is going to be either. My man David Hogan said Bucks should fire Todd Bowles. I agree, but who you gonna get? Mm-hmm. And we had this conversation about my Falcons.
No, we don't want to.
We fired Tua to Philly. Oh hell
no! That's what no.
That's interesting, but Tua is done.
I think so too. And he don't need to be a backup for Jalen. No. Mm-mm.
Here's where Tua should back up: Bryce Young in Carolina, because they're the same quarterback. Small,
yeah, but Bryce ain't as injury prone as Tua.
No, and Bryce can move around a little bit better, and Bryce is not scared of getting hit right now. Mm-mm. Tua is scared to get hit, like it's obvious.
Well, he should be scared to get hit though.
So, but he want to keep that check, so he's got to keep
concussions. He need to be scared to get hit.
But again, I'm always a fan, and I've said this on the show before. I'm a fan of your backup quarterback should be similar to your starting quarterback. I agree. You can't bring in a backup quarterback where you have to change the entire game plan. They've been practicing with your starter so Tyler Huntley is the best backup for Lamar. Yes, he can't do Lamar things, but he's
close.
Similar. He's similar.
Yeah.
But when you've got, so you can't have too much of a contrast. Yeah, you can't replicate Josh Allen. So his backup is Mitch Trubisky, but he's a serviceable backup because he knows how to play football.
Yeah.
But he's a serviceable backup. But I think if your backup should have a similar game, so you don't have to change too much of your game plan if your starter goes out. That's just my philosophy. That's my belief. David, I agree with you. Tua's brain is scrambled. I was watching the game live the last time he got the last concussion he got. Mm-hmm. And for those of y'all, here's something to make y'all smarter, and Doc, back me up on this. It's called fencing. Like you see in a boxing more than you see in the NFL, right? It's when you get hit so hard, your arm, your limbs stiffen up and they're uncontrollable. Mm-hmm. The technical term is called fencing, and it's a dangerous thing to have happen. And so when he's had that happen twice, plus a concussion a year prior, mm-hmm. The probability of him developing
some type of CTE or something
increases significantly. Mm-hmm. And on a random trip to Miami, I ran into Junior Seau at a club, and alcohol will make you say a lot of things. And so we had a great conversation. Like we just ran up on him, and he was a very, very nice man. And really enjoyed the brief conversation I had with him. And then the next year he unalived himself. And so it's a cautionary tale about how CTE can impact you. And what was it, Durson for the Bears? Was that Durson that there was a defensive back from the 85 Bears team that also unalived himself due to complications from CTE.
Yes, I remember that. That was that movie, Concussion. It was basically a part of the plot of the show. The Bears player was in that movie with Will Smith.
So here's a good question. Here's a question. Did any players get hurt yesterday that were starters? Philly should have played for the 2-seeded NFC. So yes. So the Texans lost CJ or Carter Johnson. The Texans lost a defensive player yesterday. I can't think of off the top of my head any other starters. The Ravens lost a starter, but they're not in the playoffs. And that's what changed the game. Their top defensive back, the safety, when he went out with a concussion, their defense changed tremendously, and that's when Pittsburgh started scoring because he wasn't. Dave Dorson, right? Andre Waters from Philly. Vance, my man Vance says Tua should not be playing anymore. I know it's tough. I agree with you, Vance, 100%. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But he just signed that big ass contract, and he wants that check because he's supporting his family.
Yeah, and he wants to play football. I mean, it's hard to tell a person that, especially when they're that young, that you can't play something you've been trying to play your whole life and you actually made it, Well,
he's a competitor, right? He wants to go out there and compete, but then when he gets out on that field and he sees the speed and the size of those dudes, he starts folding like a chair at the family reunion. Okay? He wants to compete, but when he gets out there, he's not really competing. And that's why they benched him. They're like, he's a liability. He's not an asset. Tua should, but it's it. And if he retires now, he's got to get back part of that signing bonus. He's got to play a number of years.
He should just be a backup quarterback.
That's just something that y'all should know about how NFL contracts work. People say, "Oh, he got a $100 million signing bonus." No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's the way to work around the salary cap. You put it all in the signing bonus. But there's a clause in there that says you have to play a certain number of years, or you got to pay some of that money back. Mm-hmm. And so that's what people don't know. Oh, he got a $75 million signing bonus. That's great, but he's got to play for at least 3 or 4 years in order to keep that money, 100% of that money. It's a percentage of that, and that's how they play with the salary cap. So Tua just signed that contract, I think, last year. Mm-hmm. So he's probably got to play 2 more years in order to get the full version amount of that signing bonus. So he's got to figure it out. And he can go be a backup. I mean, you see, Kirk Cousins has made more money than any quarterback in NFL history.
He has.
It's a stupid stat.
He's still playing. And I like Kirk Cousins.
It's the worst stat in NFL history that Kirk Cousins had made more money than Hall of Famer.
He had a good agent.
Fantastic agent. I want him to be the agent of my life.
I'm not mad at him, and he don't spend a lot of money. He kind of a simple guy, so I'm sure.
He got generational wealth, and that's the legit. Because you're right, he doesn't spend a lot. He doesn't do a lot of flashy things. He's uber religious and a family man, and I respect Kirk Cousins as a man. As a player,
he's a good backup quarterback, though. We think he's a good backup quarterback.
Yeah, but we don't have a starter because our starter can't stay healthy.
Oh, yeah, it's ACL.
He had multiple injuries in college. I don't know why we traded up to get him. I think he's a good quarterback, not great. I like Michael Penix. I don't love him.
I do. I love him too.
But with that injury history, I don't know if we should have traded up to get him.
Well, maybe that's why.
And we could have got Bo Nix.
That's why they clean the house right now.
Exactly. They fired, and just for those of you that don't know, they fired the coach, the GM, and the president. They fired Rich McKay too. So Arthur Blank was having a bad day yesterday.
He really was. I'm like, they showed. I was watching some show this morning. They showed him after the game. We dapping up everybody because They won. He looked all happy, and he got cut.
I was like, Arthur Blank, dirty as hell. He done hugged the coach and then
I know. Yeah.
Arthur want to talk to you.
I think Raheem. I don't think they should have fired him. They should. I don't think so. I felt bad for
him. Here again, I'm not a big fan of anecdotal evidence, right? So let me preface my bias. However, the few Falcons fans that I talked to yesterday, they are not upset.
Oh, really?
That Raheem is gone.
I just feel bad.
I'm not overly upset that Raheem is gone because watching those games live, he doesn't make really good adjustments. Oh, yeah.
You think he'll get a job this week? A backup?
I think he's a good coach.
Not a head coach.
David, here's my question for you. Do you think he's going to be a head coach or do you think he's going to be a DC?
He's going to be a DC. Just because he's a black man, I really think so.
Yeah.
Because it took him a while to get another head coach job after he.
You know, I was as my no, I disagree with that one. Here's what I was saying. It may take a couple of years, like they did Lovey and all that.
See, Lovey after he got fired, he went to college.
But here's the thing. And as my wife likes football, but she doesn't love it like I do. So I'm sitting there watching the game, and I was trying to explain to her, he doesn't change the picture on defense. And what I mean by that is, when a quarterback comes up to the line of scrimmage, he's looking at the defense and he's reading the coverage. Is it cover 2? Is it cover 0? Is it cover 3? Whatever. What good defensive coordinators do is they line up in one coverage,
but they play
and then they shift before the ball is snapped into another coverage. You change the picture on the quarterback, so therefore he has to slow down his decision making on where he's going to go with the football, particularly if it's a passing down.
Yeah.
But I watched against the Saints and Tyler Shuck, who is not a good quarterback. We never changed the picture. When they lined up, they didn't move. There was no movement, no shifting down, no shifting from 2 to 3. They just stayed.
They didn't try to mix it up. So basically, they
didn't mix it up. So that works early in games, but
then after they figure out,
they get figured out. And Tyler was giving it to him in the second half. We just made a play or two here and there that helped us hold on to win that game. And that's what he's got to, if he's going to self-scout, he's got to self-scout himself and be like, look, I got to change the picture. Because the players are there. I like Caden Ellis. I like the 2 rookies.
I think y'all did well in the draft.
Yeah, we had the most sacks in Atlanta Falcons history. And nothing to show for it. No playoffs, nothing to show for it. So the defense is
obviously the Panthers make the playoffs.
And we let the Panthers.
Y'all helped them yesterday, but y'all win.
One of them was going to get helped. And that's why I was like, do we want that? Like, and we got a bigger rivalry with the Bucks than we do with the Panthers.
Oh, yeah,
I'd rather let the Panthers in because I like Bryce Young.
I like Bryce Young too, because I'm a fan.
I was like, it was a toss-up. Black head coach, black quarterback. I took the black quarterback. So it is what it is.
Yeah, the Devils won a Super Bowl already. So hey, since Tampa, Tom.
And they had to exercise that demon. Remember? I mean, that Doug Williams, he's from Louisiana. They put a root on him when they the way they did him so dirty. And the NFC South. Oh, Dave, the NFC South was the weakest division by far in football.
Yeah, they hit the 3-way tie. Somebody else had to win to figure out who won the freaking division.
8-9. That's what the Falcons were, and it was like 9-8 was the champion. That's like it was.
I am happy. I am happy for the Panthers. Maybe I'm just happy because I like Bryce that they actually made the playoffs. Even though they don't do nothing, but I think that's good for him. He went from being benched to make the playoffs.
And because of the weird rules in the NFL, they get a home game.
Yeah, because of that.
Against the Rams.
They won a division.
because they won the division. And I get it because the NFL wants to incentivize you winning.
Yeah, I have a problem with it.
People
were talking about changing the rules after last year. The same thing with the Vikings. Yep. They had 14 and 2, whatever record.
And they had to go on the road that first week and they lost.
Yeah.
And so those are the things. So there's been some rumblings about them going to a straight. You just order it by their records.
The division games won't count as much, and
but the division games
don't count. Division games counting.
And it was the Mercedes-Benz was rocking yesterday, and I was surprised. I'm like, you got two teams that aren't going anywhere.
Well, that's the number one rival team. Rivalry? That's the number one rival team for y'all.
That rivalry, I'm like, I'm not missing this because I wanted to, because I do not want, because what the New Orleans fans do when they beat the Falcons in Atlanta, they do a second line out the stadium.
I'm not surprised because that's in New Orleans.
It is.
I'm not surprised at all.
And I'm torn because I'm like, that is the coldest way you can walk out the stadium is at the second line. So I'm like, I'm not mad at them because I would do it myself, but I hate it because I'm a Falcons fan. So it's 8 teams per conference. There's only 32 teams, and 8 teams per conference. That's half the league will get into the playoffs.
Yeah, leave it the way it is. 7 is enough.
I get it. I like the 7. And
I think number 1 seed needs to get it. I think somebody needs to get it by.
Well, remember the number 1 and number 2 team used to get it by.
Now I know, but like somebody needs to get it by, at least 1 team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just.
I think eventually the owners are going to convince themselves that they need to go to 8 teams just because it's more revenue, right? Because they get that revenue from the game at the stadium, and then they get the revenue from the concessions and all that stuff. So they're going to convince their colleagues,
and they can charge more per ticket.
Yeah. So they are going to go to an 8 game, right? Exactly.
Yeah, but I think somebody needs to buy.
I totally agree with that, but I like it where it is. And I'm not so conservative that I'm not afraid of change, but I think they're eventually going to go to 8, which like they went to 17 games. I thought 16 was fine, but that extra game, real game,
go to 18 games
helped, and they gave the players they suckered the players into buying into it because they can say, oh, you get an extra game check instead of those preseason, right? But that extra game is a cost on the body.
And then if you the extra 7 plus, if you make the playoffs,
yeah. So these guys, I appreciate that. So in our shifting our focus, so the teams that lost coaches today, I think we're up to 5 coaches now. Raiders, we knew that was going to happen.
Browns, Falcons.
Who
am I missing?
The Giants had already fired theirs.
Yeah, and Titans had already fired their coach too.
And the Titans, and then Arizona.
Yeah, Gannon.
6. So right on cue, and we don't know what's going to happen to Harbaugh because there's some rumblings about him.
And then the Jets going to keep their coach. I think they should, but
the Jets make bad decisions, so they're probably going to keep him.
I think they should get him in of the year. I don't think he's gonna do anything, but I just hate when they fire somebody after 1 year. Like, give him a chance to do something.
Right. You don't compound a bad decision. I don't know if he was the right decision to hire. He was the right guy to hire, and I know he's a Jet, and I know he was coming from a good program, and the Jets set a record. They did not record 1 interception this year.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I'm like,
that has never happened in the history of the NFL.
That is sad.
A tip pass,
something,
an off throw, a bad route where you ran out and you should have run in, and he just throws it right. Nothing.
And their defense is supposed to be the good
and you had Sauce Gardner for most of the season before they traded him. Yeah, no, nothing. And then they put us some stats that the opposing quarterbacks, the numbers they put up on the Jets, it was ridiculous. And Here's why I lay this at the feet of Aaron Glenn. That's your side of the ball. Because at least when
Solid.
what's the previous? Solid was there. The defense was solid. The offense sucked, but the defense was solid for the Jets.
They were.
His side of the ball was good. He couldn't figure out offense and get the right person in on offense.
Yeah.
And that's
some of that was Aaron Rodgers because he wanted his person there.
Some of that was them drafting Zach Wilson, who's a terrible quarterback.
Oh yeah, but that's
another.
That's for Rodgers, yeah.
And then when Rodgers
he brought his offensive coordinator. That was a whole bad mess.
But when your side of the ball can't get it together, and people are hanging 35 points on you on a regular basis, that's why I'm like, you gotta let it go. You got to Teddy Pendergrass.
Let it go. Well,
let it go.
I feel bad. Pete Carroll got fired.
Pete Carroll should have got that job. What are you talking about?
I still feel bad after 1 year. It's just, I don't know. It's just.
Well, he was excited
yesterday. He was excited yesterday.
When your owner looks like Howdy Doody, that's what you get. That's what you get.
I don't think they're gonna do no better though. I just think the Raiders, they got a curse too.
Well, as the saying goes, fish stinks from the head. So you got an owner that doesn't know what he's doing. That's cash poor, one of the poorest owners in the league. And then you bring in a head coach that's still playing football like it's 1999, and it's not 2025, 2026. Because when you watch his team, when you watch those games, he was running stuff that was like literally from the aughts. It was, and love Pete Carroll. He doesn't look his 70+ years.
He does. He was very excited yesterday in a meaningless game.
But where it shows up is his game planning, his personnel choices, and like because he got Geno Smith. Geno is going to sing his praises forever. He got Geno Smith a new contract, and he did not deserve 100.
He did not look good all this year.
He did not deserve that kind of money. 3-year contract? Seriously? For Geno Smith? At what? He was making 30-something, 40-something million dollars a year? No. For Geno Smith? No. So now they're going to be in salary cap hell because of that contract. You don't have a head coach. You got a terrible owner.
All they got is one defensive player and wide receiver, maybe tight end.
You got Max Crosby and the tight end from Georgia. Yeah. You got that. You got the tight end from Georgia. That's really good. So you got one offensive player, one defensive player. You got an offensive player that was pretty good, but he's in jail still, Henry Ruggs. And now you got the number 1 overall pick. So, David, I agree with you. They're going to play for the number 1 overall pick because the owner is terrible, but that's what they do.
True. The Giants too, I do believe.
Their owners, like most owners now, are like in other businesses. They made their money in other places, so they're good financially. This is a play toy for a lot of these owners. Stan Kroenke and with the Rams, this is a play toy for him. What's the dude's name in Carolina? He was a hedge fund. Tepper.
He don't know what he's doing.
David Tepper.
Yeah, he don't know.
He made billions before he even bought the team. Mm-hmm. So he's like, this is a play toy for him. So you've got owners that have like gazillion dollars that aren't really that. Jerry Jones. But for Mark Davis, this is it. This is like the Lakers family until they just sold the team. That's all they had. So they were always cash strapped to improve things on the team. That's what's happening with the Raiders. Mark Davis doesn't have a lot of money. And here's another little piece that I'm going to tell you about NFL contracts. When you sign a player to a contract, especially those big quarterback contracts, you got to have half that cash on hand. Mm-hmm. So if I sign you to a $100 million contract, that means I got to have $50 million cash on hand to cover half of that contract. Mm-hmm. So you can't just be handing out a contract willy-nilly and you can't cover them. Mm-hmm. So that's why the Raiders always get rid of, like, they usually they only can play one or two players, and then everybody else has got to be draft picks and cast-offs because they can't afford that many big money players because they don't have enough money to cover it. And so those are little hidden secrets that the NFL doesn't tell you about these contracts. And so that's why teams like the Raiders and the ones that are cash poor can't do as well because they don't have the money to cover it. And that's why you have the tiers that happen. Or ownership groups where they can pool some money together to be able to do it. And so that's that little dirty little secret that the NFL doesn't say. So they want to announce what the contract is. Oh, this player's got something extra, guaranteed money, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's some of it's fool's gold.
That's why the Browns really don't have no money.
Right. And they don't have any money, right? Because they're a family-owned team. That's why
Deshaun.
The Bengals is a classic example. The Brown family that owns the Bengals, terrible, and they're cheap, right? So they're poor and they're cheap. And that's why the Bengals are going to call the Bungles. And that's why Joe Burrow is going to leave them, like Carson Palmer.
He should. Cause, and then you hear after Miles broke the record and they paused the game, you hear the coach complaining that they stopped the game.
What do you expect? It's.
I'm like, that's it.
Now I think that sack was some bullshit. Mm-hmm. That was he laid down for my man, like Brett Favre laid down for Michael Strahan.
You think so?
That was a lay down. Here, I'm gonna get us up, give you something to cheer about in Cleveland, And I'm not mad at him for doing it, but he didn't earn that sack.
See, I didn't. I was watching Red Zone, and I saw more of the celebration than the actual sack.
Yeah, but I watched it from multiple angles. Okay, I was like, bruh. Joe Burrow slides he slides to Myles Garrett's side. Have you ever seen a quarterback slide to his side? No, they always slide away. They always run him away. So he slides to him. Myles Garrett beats the block. He had to beat the block. And then he sees him coming, and he just lays down. He gets touchdown. I broke the record. Same thing that Brett Favre did with Michael Strahan.
Well, I'm still happy. I'm happy for Miles.
I'm happy for
But
Miles.
I'm pissed off that what he said, we was fighting for our lives. They weren't going nowhere. That's what he said in the press conference. We was fighting for our lives. They weren't going nowhere. Let the man have a celebration. He done broke a record 25 years old.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Jamar Chase is either really angry that he's on this bad football team, he's getting a big check, or he's just a hater.
Well, that's what the coach just said. We fighting for our lives. He did hate on him too, though. But the coach was saying,
remember he spit in Jalen Ramsey's face.
Yeah, and claimed he did.
He might just be a hater, and he was the one that came out, and when they lost that game to Chicago, he was the one that was talking trash. Just get a stop.
Oh yeah,
on his own team. Yeah. And now he's the one complaining about stopping the
game. I'm like, they better do that for me. I'm like, if you break a record, they will.
Yes.
They will. Sure.
Break the record for the most receptions in the league.
Yeah, they will pause the game for you. And they it ain't like the clock was running out. I'm just like, really, why y'all complaining? That just sounds
I'm like, I get it. You're in Cincinnati. It's a small market. You got the smallest evaluation staff in the NFL. You got the worst facilities. It's just bad. Like, I understand that, but you're making $30 million a year, and you didn't have to take that. You didn't have to take the contract.
No, I didn't. And
you didn't have to take the contract.
But I'm not mad at him for taking it. But he didn't.
So, I mean, miss me with the tears, but I mean, $30 million could buy you a whole lot of happiness off the field. So, okay. Exactly. That's exactly it. Sour grapes, wine, and cheese. World's smallest violin. I'm playing for you right now. Okay.
That's funny.
Okay. Because look, my old ass might run out there for $30 million. I might try to I'll get broke up for a year for $30 million. Come on now. Quit playing with me. I'll call Dr. Weeb, like, Doc, We got surgery on Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday we got to. I was out getting one of them bacchiotomies. I'm getting it.
Bacchiotomy. So.
Oh yeah, there was a player for the Ravens that got rolled up, an offensive lineman got rolled up on yesterday, and his back bent the opposite way, and he came out the game. He eventually went back in, but the way he was looking on that sideline, I knew he was in pain. I was like, what these guys do
to their bodies,
just to play, and it's during a game. It's they pay for it after their career.
They do.
I think my man Brandon Jacobs, he's here in Atlanta, and I used to coach with him. I think he's had like 2 or 3 knee surgeries after he stopped playing. And so those are the things that they don't.
Knee replacements, and a lot of you look at these players' hands.
Yep. Look at Booger McFarland's hand. Every time he's talking, his fingers go. They have their own. They go in their own direction, and he can't So that's why I never complain about a salary unless it's on my team and he's taking.
I don't either. I'm like, pay him.
Pay him. I'm always an advocate.
Pay him. Especially with the NFL, they don't have many guaranteed salaries like baseball.
That's on the GM and the owner to figure out how that salary cap. But that player, pay him. And we're not even talking about the guys on the practice squad that's only making $30,000 a year, $50,000 a year, and they got to practice. Or the guys that are still working out, trying to make a team, or having to go to Canada, or having to go to the XFL. Like their bodies are still going through that same kind of hits and pain and injuries, and they're not making nearly the amount of money that they make in the NFL. And then think about the guys that don't reach the minimum to get full pension and benefits, right? So those things, and I think they have to have 3.5 years of service before in the league,
and then they cut you in a minute, then no guarantee.
And they will cut you in a minute. And if you are a marginal player and you are hitting that year 3 mark, you need to start looking over your shoulder and start finding a way to be an asset to that team, because that GM is like, ooh, and the NFL is like, ooh, let me get rid of it because I can get a rookie that could be almost as good. So you got to make sure that you are, and with the way that the top salaries are growing for wide receivers and quarterbacks,
and even defensive
they got to get
tackles.
Ooh, the bottom half is got to go. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So we gotta, I give respect to what the players are going through and what they're doing, but I think that it's a double-edged sword. We love the game, and we just, I don't know what happened. Maybe I hit the button. I don't know. I thought I was it, but yeah, I love the game. But we got to make sure that they're still going. So finally, before we I know we're a little over time, but I wanted to talk about the college football playoffs for a couple of minutes. Bama got.
Were you surprised at the outcomes of the games last week?
I was a little surprised that Alabama got beat the way they got beat after the comeback in the first game. I thought they may have gained some confidence from that and stepped into this game, and then Indiana just put it on them. I mean,
really did not. That was bad. But what about Ohio State? See, I was surprised about Ohio State.
I was, and then I wasn't surprised by Ohio State, because last year they lost to Michigan. So you can compartmentalize that loss as a rivalry game.
Yeah.
This year they lost to Indiana in the championship game and didn't have time. And you're wrapping your mind around, this is a basketball school that has never been historically good that just beat us. And I think, and we used to tell kids all the time, if you lose a game, don't let that loss don't let that team beat you twice. And that's what happened. I don't think they showed up early enough in that game against Miami. And to Miami's credit, Miami got tired of hearing about how they're not good enough and they were 10-point underdogs. And they came in there with some Florida pride and played hard early in that game and caught Ohio State kind of sleepwalking through it. And by the time Ohio State tried to show up, it was a little too late because Miami had confidence. Because you notice they scored those 14 early and didn't score a whole lot later after Ohio State came back in, but they scored enough to keep. But they had got a big enough lead to where
and they
couldn't come back. But if they played again, if they played 10 times, I would say Ohio State would win 9 of them. But they only had to lose 1, and that's the one they lost. So I'm not surprised, but I think Indiana beat them twice because they overlooked Miami and they were still lamenting. They're still looking at wounds from losing to Indiana and losing the Big Ten championship. And so, I was more surprised by Georgia.
That game was good. That game was good though. That game was good, and
it was a really great game.
I was surprised.
I think Kirby Smart panicked, and I never seen him do that by going forward on fourth down in his own end zone, in his own area. I thought he panicked a little bit, and his offense is not dynamic enough to play. Right? Trinidad put it on Georgia. So when Trinidad got hot. When he got hot, but you couldn't cool him off with a fire extinguisher or one of them cold tugs.
Like Trinidad.
Woo. He was giving it to him. Because some of those plays, how do you defend it? He's running around, he's making guys miss,
running around.
and then you can't. It's like Lamar Jackson when he first got in the league. You can't account for that as a defense. Quarterback's supposed to be here. He might move left or right, but he's not going to run 20 yards back, flip around, make you miss.
All the way down
and then
yard, a pass.
He's not supposed to do that. And so who's the Final Four? Miami, Indiana, Ole Miss, and
Oregon.
And who?
Oregon.
Oh, Oregon. That's right. So we've got
Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and
Miami.
So
we've got 2 black quarterbacks, Oregon and Ole Miss. I think it would be, from a storyline standpoint, I think it would be hilarious to see if Ole Miss.
I know, especially with Kirby Smart, with the coach. That would be.
I think that would
what are they gonna have next week? Are they gonna have the position coaches because they're supposed to go to LSU?
Here's where the pettiness of the Ole Miss administration is going to cost them a chance of winning. Because what I've been hearing is that the coaching staff that's going to be leaving to go to LSU, they're not going to allow them to coach.
See,
and I'm like, bro, that's your offensive coordinator. You shouldn't do that. Just let them play. I think
the game would have been actually more because they missed field goal at basically the end of the first half. They would have had more points if they had their whole coaching staff.
I don't trust Miami's quarterback. I will go to my grave not trusting him. He is a perpetual college quarterback. He's made a lot of money playing college football.
He sure has. I'm not mad at him.
Carson Beck does not, I like Mendoza. I don't love him. I think he moves well enough. I just need to see him. I want to, because are they playing Miami or are they playing Oregon?
They're playing Oregon. Ole Miss plays Miami. I do.
Okay. I would like to see him. I'd like to see him against that Miami defensive line and see how well he plays.
Oh, really?
I think that two-headed monster. I think it would be interesting to see because those 2 defensive ends in Miami, they're first-round draft picks. I would love to see him go up against them. And I'm not saying he's not a good player. And he'll be the number 1 overall draft pick. Well, I don't know because the Giants lost it because they beat Dallas. So
they did.
The Raiders will draft him and they may fuck it up. So I feel sorry for him.
I think the Giants would too, though. Well, it depends on who the new coach is, I guess.
Yeah. According to David thinks that they're going to pick up the Falcons coach, Raheem.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But I think the Giants might make a run at Stefanski.
I think
the Falcons are trying to get Stefanski too, but the Giants are.
How do you feel about his being fired, Stefanski?
How do I feel about Stefanski being fired? I think part of it comes from his mishandling of the Shedeur Sanders situation. Because Shedeur, from all the reports, and I understand there's bias in media, and we weren't there at the thing, but from the reports was that he was the better quarterback
from the get-go
in the camp. Like he should have been the second string quarterback coming out of camp. And they didn't give him enough reps. They didn't prepare him enough. They kind of marginalized him. And then when they needed him, he wasn't prepared. And that's on coaching. And he might not have wanted to draft him, but the fact was he was on that team. And
make him prepared, basically.
And he showed that he could do it. Even in the preseason, he should have been prepared. And the fact that he wasn't is on the head coach. And so that's those are kind of things that get you fired. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Vance, you're right. He picked that hill and he died on it. So, David, with regards to your question about Mendoza, I think, again, I don't trust the ownership of the Raiders to get it right in terms of their hiring of a new coach or GM. And I think they're going to hire, they may hire I wouldn't be surprised if they hired like John Gruden or somebody like that. Just like random that would fuck it up. Right. And so I don't trust them. I don't trust Mark Davis to make a good football decision.
To get them actually, a rookie needs pieces. I don't care how good they are in college. They'll need a good line and a running game.
Exactly. And so Mendoza we may not ever see the full Mendoza if he ends up on the Raiders because they're not going to have a good enough coach and staff around him to develop him as he should, because they're not going to invest in an offensive line. Because like I said, they're cash poor. You saw what Ashton Gentry did last as a college player. I know it's college, but you saw his potential, and then this year, it was bad. And he's not that bad of a player. It was the offensive line. It was terrible. And the Raiders play out of pride. Their schemes aren't good. They're on offense and defense. And so they're a bad football team. And that comes from the owner because you're picking bad coaches, and bad coaches have bad plays, and it just all the way down. So I'd love to see him with a good offensive coach.
I think he'd be better than the Raiders.
But right now,
they got
here's the last thing I'm gonna say because I'm hungry. I need to get something to eat. But here's the problem with NIL, especially with your top college quarterbacks. There's no incentive to come out. You see Carson Beck, he's like, I'm not coming out. I can make $8 million here.
Carson Beck ain't high in it. He's gonna be a backup in the NFL.
But the quarterback at Oregon, they're saying he could be a top.
They say they are saying that.
But he would make more money staying in Oregon than he would as a rookie in the NFL. Yeah. And it's less pressure.
Yep, it is.
They love him in Oregon. Mm-hmm. I stand out for another uniform. $6 million, $4 million. I'll say right there, Austin. But sign me up for grad school, coach. I'm coming back. You see your boy at Vanderbilt, Mendoza. He's trying to stay for another year because he knows he's not going to be in the NFL. But he wants that check. So you're going to see college quarterbacks stay in college longer. So the teams that need a quarterback, it's going to be harder to get them because they're not going to be like we've had in previous years, 4 and 5 quarterbacks that are first round picks coming out. It's going to be 1 or 2. that are coming out, and they're going to be 5 and 6 year starters or 5 and 6 year players. So they'll be more prepared, but you're only going to have 2 of them instead of 5, and that's going to impact teams trying to get better. Because if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything. Like, I mean, it's I live it every week with the Falcons. We got Kirk Cousins. And I don't hear that he won his last.
Look at the Vikings, JJ.
The Vikings, JJ McCarthy. We can go down the list.
The Jets, Miami,
Indianapolis.
Colts, yes.
They had to go get Old Man Rivers.
That's a nice story. But yeah.
Great stories on winning football games. Okay.
Danny Dimes.
What Arizona going to do with Kyler Murray? What's Arizona going to do with Kyler Murray?
I need a coach, so
they're overpaying him, and look what happened to Miami. They paid Tua. They can't fill out a roster, and now everybody's getting fired because they overpaid Tua, and he's not that dude. So you make the bad decision. You make a bad decision on a quarterback, it can set your franchise back 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly if he gets his second contract, like Tua did. When they're on that rookie contract, you really have to know he's the dude.
Dak getting overpaid. Jared too cheap to pay.
Right. Dak is overpaid, but at least Dak puts butts in seats.
Dak does, but Dak need a little help. He can't do it by himself.
Yeah, but he's way overpaid. Like, he should not be the highest paid quarterback.
No, he should not.
No. So, and I'm hoping during this time that Pat Mahomes is out, he starts thinking about doing the Tom Brady thing and take a haircut, right? Because he's making money with State Farm and all these other things. If he takes a little bit of a haircut and let that money go to, he could get a better team around him.
How much is he getting paid though? Because his contract,
he got $50 million.
Was spread out. It was kind of cap friendly.
Yeah, he's 55 million. And Lamar, they're gonna have to redo Lamar because Lamar's gonna be a $75 million cap hit.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
So they're gonna have to redo that contract. And this year is not. This wasn't the best year for him to start to have negotiating leverage. Injuries, losses, bad picks, things of that nature, and then and you see what they do. And I'm a conspiracy theorist a little bit. I got a little bit, 10% conspiracy theorist. Notice how this year people start talking bad about Lamar. Is he really connected with his teammates? They say he's playing. They start releasing that stuff in the press. They set it up.
That's true though.
Cut that money.
Play the last game. He wasn't in it. And when they asked him that question, they were talking about. They asked him the question about.
Yes.
Like
he just came off the field for a heartbreaking loss.
I know. I'm like, man. I'm like, y'all making too much of that statement. He was traumatized because they thought they had won that game.
They thought they had done enough. That fourth down play, they were like, "Ooh, we're good." Take a knee, set it up, and the rookie kicker, and so. Well, I think
they got rid of the guy they got rid of. Tucker was it Tucker? He would have probably made it.
Yeah, well, Tucker was.
He had other issues.
Tucker was doing the Deshaun Watson stuff.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So, they had to get rid of him.
But he would have made it kick.
I mean, I can't talk. The Falcons on it. We had 3 kickers. We ended the season on our 3rd kicker.
Yeah. A kicker. People talk about the kicker. You need a good kicker, especially this time of year. Getting close.
You need an accurate kicker, and I think what people are doing right now, they're falling in love with distance.
Oh yeah, like what the Cowboys.
The guy, the Jaguars, kicked that 66-yarder. Yeah. They're falling in love with distance. They're following the guy, the Cowboys, kicking 60-plus yarders like it's nothing. They're falling in love with distance. I need accuracy.
You need clutch.
I need clutch. So miss me with the I can kick a 68-yarder. Great. Can you hit this 53-yarder with the game on the line? That's what I need.
Oh well.
So
what are they gonna give it to rookie?
It's gonna be fun. So But y'all appreciate y'all. I'm gonna give a shout out to my man David for hanging with us and giving us some great commentary. My man Vance, shout out to Vance Jones. Everybody else was watching with us. They left a comment. Oh, and Pee Wee. Pee Wee. That's Pee Wee was with us earlier. So shout out to all of y'all for staying with us, and shout out for people that watched but didn't leave a comment. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks. We're gonna know 2 weeks from now it's gonna be the national championship game. So we'll
have
that coming up.
The Thursday and Friday is the next round.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about in the next time, and
next weekend,
the first round of the playoffs will be done. The wild card round of the playoffs will be done, so we'll know, and the divisional round will be done too. So
the MLK weekend, the Monday.
Yeah, so we'll know a lot. We'll have a lot better picture about the NFL in a couple weeks. So we'll see y'all then. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Again, this is Dr. Oui E Talk Sports, where we will make you smarter at the water cooler. I'll let you.
All right. Good night.